Thank you very much for joining us. Um, well, Loads of people coming. Um, yes, my name is Lawrence Kazmir. I'm here from SPNI, the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel. I am really happy to be here, joined by four of Israel's top birders around the country, and hopefully we're gonna have a really, peaceful morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And a little bit of a break from the troubles of the world. We'll start properly in 2 minutes, but if you want to say where you're from, please let us know. Hopefully you can chat. Hopefully the chat is hopefully everyone can chat with everyone. Um, and yeah, I think I turned the chat on, so that would be good. Oh, no one's got a heron. We'll spotlight no one because that's much more interesting than me. So Noam is in a lap with a heron. So Noam, do you want to? We'll start. So you've got a good bird.
Okay, so welcome to Elat, everyone. And this is a beautiful gray heron. Oh, it's going behind the bush. Not very cooperative. So welcome to Elat, down here in Elat. It's beautiful, beautiful afternoon. This morning we had thousands of Levant sparrowhawks coming to drink in this lake in the Elat Bird Sanctuary. I hope we can repeat it later on. I can't promise, but there are good chances they will come later on. But in the meanwhile, will entertain us this beautiful gray heron. Is here for the fish. The lake is full of fish, and it is waiting like this next to the water, between the reeds, moving a little bit, looking for some movement. If some fish move up, but it flew off. So flew off, never mind. Probably going to hunt. Let's see. Here it is, went to the water. So this is how it works. She just stands there, waits for something to move, and then you see this very long neck stretches, becomes like a spring, and it just hits the fish, usually in the head. You see this big bill is there for catching the poor fish. This lake is artificial. The Elat Bird Sanctuary used to be a salt marsh, then destroyed, then a rubbish dump. And on top of the rubbish dump, we are creating habitats for migratory birds. Herons needs fish, so this is what we do: create fish for a heron habitat plus food. That's what makes it a stopover site for birds. So, oh, look, there's another heron there, right? Is a night heron, isn't it? Yeah, sleepy. No, it's an egret. Sorry. So this is actually our hotel. So the birds, when they are in the stopover site, they need two main things. One is food, and the other thing is safety or shelter, where they can rest away from predators, away from danger. And you can see this egret, which is also a heron, just sits there, cleaning its oh, a squawko heron is approaching from the right side, you see? So all these birds are there.
I can't see a squawko heron.
Can't you see it? It's just on the right. It's just sneaky and
Oh
very
my gosh, it's incredibly camouflaged. Oh my gosh.
camouflage. So this
You
is what they
cannot,
do.
that's unbelievable to even see that and to even understand that's the camouflage. I don't know if anyone who's watching can see it, but it's like about the same distance on the right half of the screen as the white egret is on the left side of the screen. It's like totally camouflaged in the reeds. So I
Yes.
don't I want to point on my screen, but it's not going to help anyone. Uh,
Actually, this quaco heron is an amazing bird. Not only it's so camouflaged, they also like to feed on fish. But here, at least in Elat, they are expert in catching dragonflies. Just like birds, also dragonflies are long-range distance migrants. They sometimes cross the Sahara Desert from Africa, and this bird is just sits there in the reeds, waits for movement, and then catching them with its very long neck. Now you see it's like packed inside the body. It is just waiting for some movement. But I think these two birds are now not really not really foraging. They're mainly looking for time to rest. They probably had some food earlier today, and now they are catching some energy because at night they might continue migrating. And from here to Africa to next place with reed beds and lots of insects, that's far, far away, 3,000 kilometers away, sub-Saharan Africa. And they have to fly across the Sahara Desert all the way to the other side of the desert from the food and energy that they get from right here.
Okay.
So with my binoculars, I found
Okay.
another.
No, no,
To move
I'm
on?
gonna give someone else a turn while you look
Okay.
for less camouflaged birds. Nadav has lots and lots of birds, but he's the wrong way round. So Nadav, go landscape, and Yoav will go to you, I think, because Amir doesn't have a bird; he has a dog. So we'll go to Yoav. Yoav, can't hear you.
Lawrence, I have a great bird here. So if there's
Right.
possibility, maybe we
Yes.
can sneak in a redback shrike.
Done.
Naftali
It eats things. Come on, Amir. Let's see the strike. We like.
Okay. Okay, guys. So good morning, good afternoon from the Jerusalem Bird Observatory. We're here full force, lots of birds on migration, lots of visitors. This is our ringing team, Naftali, Ofer, lots of volunteers by the nets. Our volunteers here, Adi, our education officer. The JBO never stops. It doesn't matter if it's COVID or a year-long war. We're always open to serve birds and people together. And this afternoon, we've been putting our nets up by with our volunteer team. And one of the best birds you can catch during September, we're in September, right? Yeah, is this daredevil bird that is now migrating from the Caucasus, from the high altitudes of the Caucasus, south to the sub-Saharan savannas. And here we have it.
Ooh.
Beautiful masked redback shrike, Khankan Domgav. He's a tricky one because he's going to bite me, and I'm really, oh my God. He can really, wow, that hurts. Just a minute. So back in the hand. This bird is a very, very, very aggressive little creature. And you can see by the way the bill is built, this is very close and resembling a raptor's bill. And this bird actually catches live prey, insects, little reptiles, and it will feed on it. In many countries, this bird is called a butcher bird because the males tend to hang their prey on little sticks around the territory. This bird will migrate, leave Europe, use Israel as a staging post, and migrate south of the Sahara. We have a small population nesting up on Mount Hermon. This is a very common migrant here, and everybody that comes here to the JVO will see it feeding on our grounds. And we catch quite a few of those during migration. So this is the redback shrike. And I see Yoav has another very aggressive bird in his scope. So over to you, Yoav.
Yeah, go on, Yoav. Yoav, we can't hear you at all. Okay. I will give the explanation then. This is a kingfisher. It's going bad if I'm Yoav, you just chime in whenever you want to. This is a white-breasted kingfisher, one of three kingfisher species we have in Israel. Amir, you can take over. It's fine. They don't have to
Very
listen to me.
impressive. Listen, Lawrence, you're doing it very well. Keep on.
I could do that, but they don't want to hear from me. They want to hear from you, Amir. So Amir, take over and
Israel has been blessed with three species of kingfishers, and you know Israel is situated between three main continents: Africa, Asia, and Europe. And we have a representative for each continent. The white-breasted kingfisher originates from Asia, and you can find it in the Indian subcontinent and Iran and all along the Euphrates and all the big rivers in the Middle East. We have another two, one an African, which is the pied kingfisher, and the European kingfisher is obviously the European representative. And they all feed in wetland habitats. So the better the wetland habitat, the more species of kingfishers you're going to get. So basically, in the rewilding projects of SPNI, one of the ways to see, to measure the quality of a habitat is to find out whether all kingfishers are there. So we have a check here on the white-breasted kingfisher, and you can see one of the features that this bird has is a very, very long and dagger-like bill. And this is one of the most aggressive kingfishers we have. It will eat anything that moves, anything alive, from little mole crickets to snakes, young birds, and rarely fish. The other two species will usually feed on fish. So this is a very important representative and an indicator of quality wetland habitats.
Perfect. Talking of SPNI rewilding projects, let's go to Nadav. Nadav, you're sideways. But if you can go, can you turn yourself sideways 90 degrees? No. Okay, Nadav, I'm coming back to you, but you're basically sideways at the moment. Yeah.
Why am I sideways?
Now you're the right way. That's better. That's better. So Nadav is one of our rewilding projects. No, now you're sideways again. In Kibbutz Kfar Ripin. And I think he had a kingfisher as well in his scopes. And I'm going to let Nadav sort himself out. And maybe you got. I know you have got those birds. Amir or Yoav, one of you, Yoav's got lots of birds, so maybe Amir can explain Yoav's birds.
Yeah, until my teammates get a hold of their phones, I have here with me one of the typical migrants in the JBO. This is a black cap, a female black cap, one of numerous black caps migrating over Jerusalem during September. These birds migrate over Israel from Central Europe down to Eastern Africa. This is a typical woodland bird, and as a woodland bird, it will always seek an open habitat, usually woodland habitat along the Israeli National Divide. And the JBO is located exactly on the National Divide, and it supplies lots of birds that migrate over this region a place to stop over, refuel. And when I say refuel, it's mainly eating sugary fruits. And in the next bird, I will show you the main food product that these birds look for. It is the wild pistachio, sour tasting fruit with lots of energy. So the secret of the JBO and lots of mountain habitats in Israel are the wild pistachio. So this is a female black cap, and you can see, I know it's a female because the cap is brown.
Yes, because cap is not black. Okay,
Amir,
Nadav has another. Hold on, Amir. Nadav is back on the right way and has another kingfisher. Go, Nadav. I think it's kingfisher.
Lawrence, hi everybody. You will see what I'm seeing. The kingfisher just went in for a dive. Perfect timing. So maybe go back to a and I'll find.
I'll give Yoav a turn. Yoav, and we'll come back to hope your kingfisher will come back. Yoav, go. Someone explain what Yoav's seeing. Yoav, you there? Yoav, we cannot hear you, but I see lots of ibises. We'll go to Noam, who has, looks like something interesting. Oh,
Okay. In Eilat,
Noam.
you can almost always find a flamingo. So here is one. And flamingos are now on migration. They are coming from Kazakhstan or Iran or Turkey on their way to Africa. And you can't really see it, but you are on salt pans. Actually, it's a factory to produce salt. That's where we are. It's a very shallow water pond. Salinity is probably 3 times. Can you hear me? I can hear all kinds of noises.
Yeah. Sorry, that's Yoav being disruptive.
Okay. I see. So you can see the flamingo is here in the salt ponds. The salinity is 3 times the sea. There are plenty of shrimps in the water, but he ate all morning and now he seems to be wanting to rest. But look at these very long legs and long neck that will let him stay even in deeper water. And what they actually do is they like to dance. They move the bottom of the pool, move all the shrimps up to the surface, and then they can catch them with their bill. Their bill is like a bottle. They fill it in with water, and then they push the water out through their bill, which has equipped with some kind of filter. So this way they actually get the water in with the shrimps and let them go without the shrimps, and so they can eat them. The bird you are seeing now is probably 3 years old. As many people ask, why aren't they pink? So first of all, this is the greater flamingo, the European version of flamingo, which means it's not so pink to start with. But it's also a matter of age. The older they are, the pinker they are. And they get really almost red when they are 5, 6 years old. So this guy is getting there slowly. Maybe
Okay.
I show you.
All right, no, let's go to Nadav because Nadav's birds have come back because I was.
No worries. Bye-bye.
Let's go to Nadav. Nadav, back to you. Get up. Yeah, there you go. Birds.
Birds. Okay. Thank you, Lawrence. Hi, everybody. I'm going to take my phone out of the scope for a minute, just to show you where we are. We're in the Bet Shean Valley, not far from Kibbutz Kfar Opin. The moment I'm looking to the east, these are the Gilad Mountains in Jordan. Now I'm going to turn my phone south, and we're seeing the Samaria area and the Gilboa Mountain to the east. This is one of the fish ponds in Kfar Opin area that we are actually managing for the past 8 or 9 months now, for the beginning of this year, as a rewilding site. This pond served as a fish pond until 2 years ago, and since the beginning of this year, the SPNI, as a part of the Startup Nature project, we are running it as a restored wetland. This is my scope, and now I'm going to take you with me into my scope, and you're going to see the birds from up close. Just a flock of some residents and some migrating birds. This is a mixed flock of glossy ibises feeding next to little egrets. Both of them are resident here, and also some gray herons, migrating gray herons, and they all stay here in this restored wetland. We are, as you can see, they can rest here. It's a safe. Sorry, Lawrence, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you. Yeah.
Lawrence?
Yes, we can hear. I can hear you. We can all hear you. Can you hear me? Excellent.
Now
No,
I
you
do.
can't hear me.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going back to Amir. Amir has a bag or something. Let's go back to Amir.
Oh, okay, go back to Amir.
Amir always has a bag. And before I show you what's in the bag, I'd like to show you the wild pistachios This is the JBO secret recipe for an excellent migratory stopover site. And this little fruit, very sour, but full of sugars and nutrients, is what the birds need to cross the desert. And now I will show you who feeds on these fruit. We saw the redback shrike before, and here I have a cousin, and this is a masked shrike. Same or similar bird, but much more slender, smaller, longish tail. And this is a juvenile bird that hatched probably 2.5, 3 months ago in woodlands in Georgia or in Southern Europe. This is, again, a woodland bird or a parkland bird. And here again, you can see this amazing tool, and you can see how strong it is and how capable it is in hunting little creatures. And the same as redback shrike or woodchat shrikes or great shrikes, it will catch its prey and it will use it for food. And of course, also to mark the territory. So you must remember that once we ring or band the bird, the final stage after writing all the details down on our computer system, the bird will be released from a special window back into the wild. There it goes. And you can see the Neiman pond, which is a prime wetland habitat that serves all the migratory birds. And I'm sitting in the bird hide that is open to the public 24/7, and it enables us to reconnect people to nature. And this has been a very important facility during the last few years, from COVID into the war, hosting a lot of people that need this type of relaxation through observation and enjoyment of nature. Back to you, Lawrence.
Thanks, Amir. Yoav, do you want to say something, or you just chime in? If not, Yoav, you with us? Nope. Right. We'll go to Nadav. Back to Nadav, who has the same birds, who tells us more about his birds. Go, Nadav. Nadav? Nope. Back to Amir.
So one of the advantages of bird ringing, bird banding, depending where you're from, is the fact that we monitor birds that we don't always see. And they're on the grounds, feeding, hiding. And the netting system enables us to monitor in a very acute way how these birds use the site. And one of the most amazing birds that pass through this observatory is a little bird called redstart. And redstarts are small, very delicate songbirds that nest in woodland all over Europe. Naftali. And this is a female, and this female is carrying an IOC, IBRC ring, which is the Israeli Bird Ringing Center. And the number, the little number that we have on the ring, enables us to create a sort of an ID number for the bird. So specifically, this bird is a female, and you can see the beautiful red tail. Okay, and the red tail is a very important ID feature that this bird has. And one of the uses of this tail is it flicks its tail in the woodland, and many times insects react to it, fly away or move. And then the redstart, using its very large eyes, will detect the movement and catch the bird, flying towards it and catching it with its very delicate bill. So this bird passes in numerous numbers over Jerusalem and over Israel. Each night Hundreds of thousands of these birds will migrate. In the morning, they will search for a stopover site, and they will funnel to places that are protected as nature reserves, as agricultural areas, and also urban wildlife sites. So this is the importance of conserving habitats all along the migration route. And this is what we love doing. And we're doing this with your support. Remember that SPNI is an NGO, non-governmental organization. Our strength is the public that supports our activity, the research and the educational activity. So this bird is flying away, and I see Noam is also
ringing. But I'm going to give Yoav a chance to join because he's been
let's
struggling.
give Yoav a chance.
Let's give Yoav a chance. Yoav, can we hear you? And you're also sideways, Yoav. Does anyone want to explain what Yoav has? Some type of, I want to say duck. I know it's not a duck. I have no idea what it is. Yoav, can't hear you and you're sideways. Amir, what's Yoav got? There we go.
Blimey, it's too small for me to identify. Yoav always likes little brown jobs, things that are very hard to identify. And no one can identify the bird beside him. And, you know.
You can't do it. All right, let's go to Noam. We'll find out what this is for everyone in a minute.
Okay, so
let's go back to
the
Noam.
hero of migration is the willow warbler. Okay, so this looks big on the screen, but this tiny bird is 8 grams only, migrating from somewhere in Scandinavia or Northern Europe all the way to Southern Africa, Central Africa, and it's so small. But this is the time where they pass, middle of September, probably their peak. And why are we catching them at all is to check the physical condition. We have a stopover site for birds on a very crucial point before the Sahara Desert. This tiny bird will have to fly 3 days and nights non-stop to cross the desert from the food, from the energy it gained right here at the Eilat Bird Sanctuary. Nevertheless, this is not a natural habitat. We planted the trees, we irrigate the trees because the salt marsh that was here is gone. And we are trying to revive it, but it's not so easy. So to make sure that this bird actually has all the means, it needs all the energy to fly 3 days and nights non-stop to the other side of the desert, we have to trap very few of them, check their physical condition, and let them go. So this amazing bird, the main thing we do, first of all, we put a small ring on the leg just to mark it. And then we take some measurements, but the most important is check the fat. So this bird is kind of ready to cross the desert. It weighs 8 grams. The basic weight is probably 6 grams. So 2 grams is pretty much enough for this bird to make it to the other side of the desert. So what I sometimes, when kids come here, and many kids come here, we have educational programs, we have kids just visiting the bird sanctuary and the ringing station here, and they ask me, what is the strongest wild animal in the wild? And
Noam, can you speak up a tiny bit, please? You're a bit quiet.
Okay, just far away from me. So probably the most powerful wildlife on Earth is a willow warbler. So tiny, so small, yet so capable. So this is it. You have a chance.
I reckon I could take that in a fight. It doesn't look that strong.
Well, you should come and check it.
Lawrence, we can do a webinar of me versus a willow warbler and see who would win.
I don't think you can even sit in an aeroplane for 3 days and nights non-stop, can you?
It depends. Depends if my honor was on the line.
No, so flapping your wings all the way, that's a little bit more serious than that. So that's a willow warbler, and watch what I'm gonna do next. Oh, left me some feathers. It's gone. It's gone where? To Africa. This is where they're going right now. Had enough food, had some rest. Night is coming soon. In 2 hours, it will be dark, and will be off to epic journey across the desert from right here in Eilat.
Amazing. Who wants to go next? Yoav and Nadav, your cameras are off, so I assume you have nothing. Amir, you've got another bird? Or are we sticking with Noam? No, Noam, you can have another go, I think. Hold on. Yeah, Noam, you can have another go. Amir is birdless.
Birdless. Jerusalem is birdless? I don't believe
No,
it.
I think Amir is just birdless.
There is no competition between Eilat and Jerusalem at all. Just that Eilat is just better.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Amir, you can go next. It's okay. You can go next. Let's see what he's got.
Amir, do you have a reed warbler?
Ooh.
We just had the reed warbler, and I asked to release it because it's such a boring bird. So I mean, we'll let Eilat have all the boring birds.
Okay, so May Kinneret that actually crossed the lines from Jerusalem to Eilat. Open it up. So the reed warbler is an amazing bird. It's nothing but boring. Really, it lives in the reed. It's super. We in Jerusalem, we've seen some aggressive birds. We also have them here in Eilat. It's aggressive because when the predator comes, it sees it from few centimeters. It lives in reed beds. So to protect itself, it's just aggressive. It makes sometimes noises and all these movements, opening the wings. And making it, come and show them. We also have a redback shrike.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, and
guys, there are 5 types of shrike in Israel, to my understanding. So we're not doing doubles, okay? We need different ones.
Yeah. Well, it's making lots of noise here. Maybe it's a relative of the one from Jerusalem. What I'm doing, I'm placing a very, very small band on the leg here of the bird. I show you how I do it, like this. And yeah, just like this. It's moving freely, no problem. Yes, please. And I'm gonna take some measurements. My favorite one is tail, 51.
Oh, 51 what? Millimeters?
Millimeters, of course. The wing is, it's 68. Okay. Fat is 0, no fat. Now that is bad news because this bird, in order to cross the desert, really needs a lot of fat. So I'm going to send it now. First of all, we dip it in here. That's for the weight, 9 grams, 0.1. That's also a little bit not enough. And I'm going to send it to eat some more. It needs 2-3 days in the best hotel in town, the bird sanctuary, to find some food. And whoops. So it's off to get some food. We'll take it 2-3 days, and then it will be ready to fly away.
Okay, I'm going to give Yoav another chance. Amir, let's try and do a dual cast. These are not birds. You tricked me, Yoav. But I will allow it because they're cute. Come on, Yoav. Amir, you can't tell us about these not bird animals.
Well, what we have here are swamp turtles, and this is one of the most common amphibious reptile that lives in wetlands in Israel. And because they are reptiles, they have to warm themselves regularly during the day. Early morning, they will find a log or a rock, and they will turn their back towards the sun and heat their system in order to get their physiological,
body temperature.
And the body temperature to working order. And when evening sets, the temperatures reduce, and they need to bump up their temperatures. So what you see here is basically reptiles using solar energy to get another hour or 2 of feeding before night sets. So this is a very typical view in wetlands all over Israel. And here I have a little bird.
Hold on, hold on.
another.
I just want to point out to everyone that one turtle did climb on board the other turtle. So that made me very happy. Go on then.
Whoa,
What's your bird,
whoa,
Amir?
whoa,
Come on.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Listen, we have a breaking story. This is a lesser white throat, and we also have a male red star. How's that, Noam? Let's see you beat this.
Oh, I'm gonna add you
Okay.
both. I'm gonna add. You can
I
be
just have a
simulcast.
bulbul.
You've got a bulbul. Okay.
Yes, the bulbul is the JBO mascot. So
No.
So
We're
what
gonna
you
go.
have here.
We're going back to Amir with his two birds. I don't want a bulbul on my screen.
The bulbul is excellent, and I'll make this sweet and short. This is a lesser white-throat, an amazing migrant that starts its migration in the British Isles. It will follow the Mediterranean coast to Israel and go south down to Africa during autumn. And this is the beautiful male version of the European red start. Look at the beautiful red chest, black throat, and look at this tail. This is amazing. So we've had a female, and this is the male. There it goes. And here we have the lesser white throat, which is a very important bird for the JBO. 30 years ago, exactly in April 23rd, we caught a bird from Stockholm carrying a Swedish ring, a lesser white throat. And this bird was the reason we created this observatory here up in Capitol Hill. So we are very happy to show it to you. It's a very small bird, not very, conspicuous, but very, very important for us because thanks to this bird, we have managed to save 1.5 acres of prime habitat in Capitol Hill. Back to you, Noam.
Yeah, Nadav, I'm keeping an eye on you as well. So once you've got something, we'll come back to you. Come on then.
אתם יכולים להצטרף, חבר'ה, הכל בסדר.
Great. Well, Noam is showing why you know what? I was going to say it's a yellow-bottomed bulbul, but I'm pretty sure it's a spectacled. So putting its yellow thing in. Right, Yoav's got the last kingfisher. We're going to Yoav and the kingfisher. This is kingfisher number 3. This is a pied kingfisher, everyone. This is the African one. Yoav, you're not speaking. Amir, you want to tell us all about the pied kingfisher?
Yeah, going back to kingfishers. So we've had the white-breasted, and this is the pied kingfisher, an African kingfisher. And it's a very common bird around Lake Victoria and the Okavango Delta, and also along the Nile. And Israel is its northern northern distribution. So further north, there will be rarely observations of pied kingfishers, but this is definitely an African bird, African flavored bird, and a very communal bird. So we tend to see them in family groups and in wintertime in large flocks of up to 20 sometimes. And they are all fighting and calling. And one of our beautiful projects in Magan Michael that is going to be opened very soon is the best place to see these kingfishers. It's Magan Michael. And
well done, Yoav.
I
You got
can't
the
believe
last one too.
it. That's a European one.
That's it.
Hat trick. We have a hat trick. It's a hat trick.
Home.
Yoav, he's the best. He doesn't talk a lot, but he can find his birds. And this is a European kingfisher, the smallest of our 3 kingfishers. And you can see how agile it is looking for these little fish. And he is a very, very talented.
Hold on. There's a kingfisher. I'm telling you, I do want to go to you, but Nadav's got something even better. Nadav, go.
I prefer if you give me another 30 seconds.
You can have your bulbul. Okay, go on then. Oh, it's gone. That's a shame. Yeah, we're going back to you and you're in your kingfisher. Sorry, Noam.
We have a green beater, and Nadav has a green beater.
Yeah, and he said he wanted a couple. He said he wanted more time.
Okay, I'm ready now.
Okay,
I'm ready now.
Okay, we'll go to Nadav's beater. Oh, it's even better.
Amir asked for colorful birds, so here's a colorful bird. This is the blue-cheeked bee-eater. Okay, in Hebrew, shakrak yarok. They are summer visitors to Israel. They come here in spring. Some are breeding here. Most of them do not. They breed east of Israel, and they migrate in the fall down to East Africa. bee eaters eat bees, but also other flying insects like dragonflies. And here in Kfar area, they feed mainly on dragonflies. Near some of them are very close to our restored wetland, the rewilding sites of Magar Amud and the uh, Safa Reservoir. And this is a part of a flock. At the moment, I'm seeing about 30 or 40 blue-cheeked bee eaters here, and they're trying to catch their last meal of the day. They're here standing over a wild area with lots of bushes that some bees and wild bees and dragonflies are hanging around. And let me just try and pan a little bit to the left. So you see some more of this wonderful flock of bee eaters.
Nadav, hold on. So this
one.
is so Nadav, this is different than the European bee eater and the little green bee.
Yes.
Yeah, that's different. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I really want to stay here, but I feel bad because no one's shoving a bird in front of the camera. So let's go to Noam. What you got, Noam?
Okay, so we have already seen in Jerusalem. Sorry, I am in defeat here. This is a red-backed shrike, and it's a really feisty bird. And you can just look at this bill, which is really cruel tooth. Try to focus it somehow, and it has this whiskers. Can you see the whisker? It's hard to see.
I can't. Yeah, a little bit. Why does it have whiskers? It's not a cat.
Yeah, just because they don't have their hands became wings and their legs are legs, so they can't really feel their food. So in order to be sure they are actually eating the right thing, they need to touch it, feel it somehow. And this is why they have their whiskers placed on both sides of the bill, so they can actually know what they are eating, because you know where their eyes are. They are not in the front like ours. They are on the sides. This way they can see almost backwards and front and backwards.
Hold on, no. Why? I really want to go back to Nadav. I also want to ask, why, if these are predators, why are their eyes like on the side and not the front? Or is it just
because they're also being predated.
I see.
They are predators and being predated at the same time. But this guy,
okay, I want to go back to Nadav and his bee eaters, because there's a question from Barbara in the chat. Do the bee eaters also migrate away from us at the end of the summer? Nadav?
Yes. The European bee eaters and blue-cheek bee eaters are migrating south at the end of summer. The little green bee eaters are residents in the south part of Israel, and they will stay here year round. Just to connect to what Noam said about the eyes being at the sides of their heads, if you can see, if you look at these three bee eaters, from time to time they tilt their head to the side, and that's to look up, because there is a stream of migrating birds of prey, migrating raptors, mainly black kites, just over our heads at the moment. And the bee eaters are keeping their eyes on them, just to make sure that among the black kites, there aren't any sparrowhawks or booted eagles that might try to get one of the bee eaters. So they're constantly looking up, just to make sure that the migrating raptors are not trying for a quick snack.
Well, if they want to eat them while on the camera, that'd be amazing. Amir, come on then. We'll go back to you. You had a human and a bird a second ago, so we'll go back to Amir. I feel bad for him. I can watch these bee eaters all day, but
I've just released a black cap, a male black cap. I didn't want to hold it too long.
Oh, hold on. Yoav's got another bird. Yoav's got a good bird. He's got another bee eater, I think. Let's go to Yoav. Yoav's also got a bee eater. Come on, Amir. Tell us about the bee eater. Yoav's got a common bee eater.
Okay. No, that's a blue-cheeked bee eater. Oh, Nadav has a blue-cheeked. Yoav has
a normal bee eater.
That's a common bee eater, correct. A European bee eater. They are now moving on migration from Southern Europe, Central Europe, further down to Africa. They specialize on bees and wasps, and they are very specialized at catching them, and they do it mid-flight. So it's very impressive to see them work. And they usually use dead trees as stumps and sometimes electricity lines as a viewing post. And you can see he's always searching, looking left and right. And beekeepers really hate them because they are very efficient hunters. They have these a chopstick-like bill that helps them catch the wasps midair, and they really are a nuisance for beekeepers. And you know, Rosh Hashanah and honey goes together. So when a beekeeper hears the call of the bee eater, they really get depressed. So we like to care for them by creating habitats that are rich with bees and wasps and actually dragonflies. They love dragonflies. So all our observatories are very important for these bee eaters. And another important element is that there are very few flowers in autumn in Israel. Most of the vegetation is fruiting now. So if there is a patch, for example, of sea squill, which is a very tall white plant, it's usually full of bees and wasps. And then you get this beautiful white flower with this beautiful multicolored bird. Really a real treat for anybody coming over to Israel. And I know that there aren't many flights, but most of our birding sites are open 24/7. The ringing is active, and so is our educational program. Now our team is going to extract some more birds, and I have this beautiful migrant called an Orphean warbler. The Orphean warbler is one of the larger warblers migrating through Israel right now. The name Orphean is given to this bird because it has a beautiful song like Orpheus from the Greek mythology. So this bird nests in woodland and scrubland in high elevation and lowlands. And it is one of the most beautiful bird songs we have in Israel in springtime on Mount Hermon, which is currently closed for visits for understandable reasons. But this bird will migrate, and you can see this little protrusion in its chest. This means that this bird has a lot of fat content in its chest cavity, and it will probably leave tonight. So this is, again, why it's so important to preserve these open, wild habitats all over Israel, in the wilderness, in and between agricultural areas, and also in urban areas. And this is exactly what SPNI does. SPNI works in all over Israel, increasing the amount of land that is protected for birds and people, and also making sure the habitat is of high quality, managed correctly. So I'm going to release this bird.
Nadav, by any chance, you still got your bee eater again? No one at the moment has any birds, so we can go to the questions. So I think that one of the most pertinent questions we've had is how has the war impacted the birds and migration? And Amir, if you want to answer, well, very relatively quickly, because Noam, I think, has an eagle, which I'm very excited to try and find.
There are two aspects to this question. First of all the noise and tremor affects wildlife. And in many cases, especially up north now with all the rocket attacks and the anti-rocket ammunition, this makes a lot of the stopover sites and potential winter sites very unattractive for birds. So we expect that a lot of birds will not stay over in Hula Valley, which is up north. And a lot of migratory birds, big raptors and pelicans, are sometimes mistaken as armament. So there have been cases where common cranes or eagles have been shot down because they appear on radar, and this is a very big problem. So this is one aspect. The other aspect, which is very interesting, is that a lot of the places that serve wildlife and people together have no people around them. So they are very quiet. So for many other species, especially smaller species, wartime is not that bad, and there's less hunting by people. So also in Lebanon, less people are moving around with shotguns because, you know, it becomes a dangerous pastime to walk around with a shotgun in the hills north of Israel.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, it has two aspects. Yoav, can you take it over?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yoav.
Oh,
welcome.
amazing. For my phone issue. I'm in Hamapil, which is in the Khatar Valley, central Israel. It's a rain fish pond full of birds. There are just thousands of water birds here. In my scope now, you can see a few spoonbills, Eurasian spoonbills. You can see their very unique feeding behavior, how they move their heads from side to side, looking for fish, crustaceans, and other stuff in the water. Lots of glossy ibis, and in the back, a few black storks. Can you see the big black storks in the back?
Yoav, I'm just going to go to Nadav because he's got another beat, and then we'll come back to you in about 2 minutes. Okay, we'll come back. Okay, go on. Yeah, go on. Oh, it's another. I want to say it's another blue throat, isn't it? Blue-throated bee eater.
Another blue-cheeked bee eater. Again, one of the most colorful, wonderful birds we have here, breeding and migrating. I hope the focus is quite right. And it's just fun to look at. I mean, look at the color combination. Look at this yellow chin, and the brown patch under it, and the blue cheeks, and kind of an eyebrow on this bird, and the beautiful green color on the chest and belly. It's really is a beautiful bird.
It is beautiful. All right, let's go back to Yoav. Can't I? Because I thought it was a new one, but go on, Yoav. Tell us about the black storks in the back.
Okay, so these black storks in the back are really special birds. They're rare storks, birds of conservation concern in Europe. And the wetlands in Israel are certainly one of the most important places for them to stop over. Something like 30 migrate every season, peak migration. Many of them stop in these drained fish ponds. Here we don't have our startup project taken over yet, but the fish ponds here are certainly on on our list. But also in Kfar Upin and in Magan Michael, where we have already restored fish ponds like that, we have many black storks stopping over. So it's great to see here all of these wetland birds having a great time. You can see how much activity is in my scope. Lots of happy birds in there. I'll try to move the scope a bit so you can see a few more black stork.
We're going to go to Noam, who's also got a happy bird. And I'll come back to you in a minute. Go on, Noam. What you got? You got a little bird. Yeah. Go Noam.
Okay, right now in Lat, you see a ringed plover. It's a migrant from far away, Northern Europe, and it's just so handsome, so smart. Look how his colors are built.
Noam, what was his name again? Sorry, we missed the name. It crackled out.
The ringed plover.
Ringed plover.
The common ringed plover, and it has a ring around his neck, and you can see looks like a young bird, but it's not very bright orange legs, but you can still see they are getting there. And he's actually enjoying insects that live by the water. These are brackish water that we put here, and lots of vertebrates. Oh, flew off. Oh, wait a minute. Here is, that's something else. That's a little stint right there. So these two species are feeding on all kinds of shrimps and worms that live in this water. But something is really troubling the birds. They are flying all the time. It's a little bit tough to see.
Hopefully something big and is going to eat them, which we can see in a second. Khan, let's go back to Yoav with his more black storks.
Yeah, more black storks. So as I said, I'm in Hamapil fish ponds. The reason why these ponds are drained now is because these fish ponds are adjacent, sorry, to a reservoir where there is feeding of, sorry, sorry, I just had a drink of water. So we're adjacent to the main feeding spot of pelicans in Israel. We're entering peak pelican migration time. And just adjacent to these fish ponds here, in a few weeks, there'll be tens of thousands of pelicans. So the fish farmers here know that there's no point to try and grow fish in these fish ponds. So they just drain the ponds until the pelican storm passes, and then they refill them back up in winter. So right now, the water level is low, which is fantastic for many birds because all of the biomass in the water gets exposed when the mud is exposed. Lots of small fish, crabs and other crustaceans, other invertebrates that live in the water and in the mud are exposed, and all of those happy birds are having a great time in these drained fish ponds. That's how we like them, with muddy edges, shallow water, and the birds have a chance to reach all of the good stuff in the shallow water and in the mud.
Amazing. Amir, have you got any birds there, or you just got a dog? Because that doesn't really count. Amir's not even listening to me. Any Nadav or Noam? Oh, Yoav, what was the bird we saw before? It was like a stint or something. It was
It was a ruff. R-U-F.
R-U-F-F.
I'll try to get another ruff now that my phone got back to work. I'll try to get another ruff. Better.
Yes, you go find another ruff. Come on, guys. We want a raptor. Nadav, we want to go back to you. Nadav's upside down, so that's good. You might have to spot like me. We'll go back to Nadav's the right way up. We'll go back to Nadav. Hello, Nadav. You're at Kfar Rupi.
Yes, I'm in Kfar Rupi now. I switched places, and now I'm in Amud Reservoir, our first rewilding site in Israel, and just which is also the water level in Amud Reservoir now is actually dropping potentially because this is the time of year where naturally wetlands in Israel are losing. The water levels in wetlands in Israel are dropping because it's the end of summer, and they have less and less water in the small streams that are feeding them. Now I'll take you with me again into my scope, and we'll see what's there. Okay, so these are again black storks, but they are feeding in our rewilding area. Rewilding site, and for me this is very exciting. This means that the habitat that we restored is actually serving migrating birds. We are actually providing food and shelter and resting places, stopover sites, high quality stopover sites for migrating birds. In this case,
Nadav, when you say we're feeding them, do you mean we're actually like putting food in the water, or is it just the habitat?
No, we are creating the habitat. We are creating the habitat to support them. I didn't say that we are feeding them. I say we are providing. We're creating the habitat, and the habitat is providing them with everything they need. This is for me, this is very exciting to see.
For me, it's exciting too. I'm coming on Tuesday, so I'm very super excited. Although I'm not really a big fan of black storks, but don't tell anyone else that. Right, Amir's got another bird because I don't like black storks, so let's go back to Amir.
I'd like to emphasize I have a bird here, but I have something much more important than a bird beside me. I want to introduce Gerda Israel. Gerda Israel is one of our prominent volunteers in the JBO, has been in the birding scene in Jerusalem for over how many years? Over 40 years, easy. And she's been active in the JBO for over 30 years. And originally you are from? South Africa. Did you hear that? South Africa. And a lot of the work in our sites in Eilat, up north, and also in Jerusalem depends on volunteers, and community work is a true focus of our work. And thanks to the volunteers we have here, like Gerda and many others, we can do the work we're doing, okay? And Gerda comes here nearly every ringing session in autumn. And would you like to elaborate? No. Gerda is here for the work.
Not like you, Amir, who's here for the popularity. Come on then, Yoav. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Gerda.
Let's go to Yoav, who's got a nice bird. He's not Nadav's one's all full. Oh, no, hold on, no. Actually, no. Oh, he's got a good one. It's a shrike, but I don't know which one it is.
Redback shrike, number 2. Yoav, Nadav.
Go on.
Okay.
Let's go to Yoav. Let's go to Yoav. He's got a nice one in the scope.
I have a cup. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. We're with you.
Okay, so I have a couple of snipe, common snipe. They have a North American relative, the Wilson snipe, but that's the Eurasian counterpart. This pond that I'm next to now is hosting a few tens of these snipes. Now have a look at their feeding behavior. They have this long bill. They stick it deep in the water and into the mud. And it's really fantastic how they just walk through the mud, wade through the water, and get all of the good stuff from the mud. So that's a common snipe, a very long distance migrant. They breed.
Nadav has something. Go, Nadav. It's not a bird, but I'll take it. Go on, Nadav. Nadav has I want to say jackal.
Hi, this is just a jackal. Okay,
I'll take it.
Golden jackal, one of the commonest mammals in Israel. It's
Don't
very
undersell it,
common.
Nadav. I just interrupted Yoav for this.
I know, but it is what it is. I just wanted to pan a little bit and to show you. This is here in the reeds. There is a marsh harrier standing.
I knew that was something that I was like staring at my screen.
There is a marsh harrier, and just beneath it there is a gray heron. Marsh harrier is a raptor, very common around wetlands area, and actually marsh harriers feed on other birds sometimes, like smaller birds like plovers and small ducks, and some songbirds they catch in the reeds. And this jackal is just here for the fun, I think, maybe drinking. I don't think he has any fantasies that he will actually be able to catch one of the herons or the black storks that are here. Very quite a lot of black storks and some wild ducks, some mallards here on migration.
You like ducks? All right. Very good ducks. All right. Can you tell
what a beautiful scenery
can you tell that jackal to stick around for Tuesday, please? That would be really cool.
Yes, I will.
I'm gonna we'll see. Hopefully that marsh harrier will do something cool. Oh my god, there's so many birds.
So many birds.
There are loads of birds. So if I remember correctly, it's like 8,000 storks in the black storks left in the world. So there's probably about like 50 here. So that's quite a large population. All right, Noam's got a bird. Let's go to Noam.
Yes, actually, Meki Neret got a bird.
Ooh,
it's a musk shrike.
Oh, I thought it was
and not the redback we've already seen. It's a young musk shrike. It's smaller than the redback, but just as interesting. When they get older, they get all this flashy orange, black, and white plumage, but this is still young, prefers to be a little bit camouflaged, not to stick out so much, so it can survive its first ever migration. In Africa, during winter, it's gonna molt, change its plumage, and become beautiful. And
I thought you were going to say it's become purple or something and it changed color.
Yes, they do. Meki Neret really doesn't want to be on tape today. So I'll show you our lake. There's a beautiful whisker tern flying around, but I can't see it right now. But you can see, here it is flying above. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. Oh, the musk shrike is flying now. So this is Anita Lake, again, artificial lake. You can see our mountains in the back. So pristine here. The heron here.
If you
Just
go
so
back
beautiful.
to me, Lawrence,
All
there's
right,
quite an
calm down.
interesting,
Yes, yes.
quite an interesting foraging behavior
Go
of
on then.
of the of the black stork. You see how they waddle in the wade quite deep in
Oh,
the
but
water and just
they're in synchronization, right? They're doing it like
poking.
as a flock. Yeah.
They're poking from time to time, trying to get a fish or something else from the water. Um, and it's very interesting. They're just walking from one side to the reservoir, like flowing through the reservoir, searching for fish.
That's right. So are they working together as a team, or are they just sort of spending
Um,
this time?
Kind of, not like white pelicans do, but yeah, it looks quite synchronized.
Very good. All right. Okay, Kolnyov, we'll go back to you. I don't know how long the birders are planning to stay for. I know we're at the top of the hour. I'm happy to
Okay.
continue while there's stuff to see because this is awesome and it's great
So
fun for me.
I promise,
You found the
Lawrence,
rough.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. You're on.
I promised you a rough, so here is a rough.
Yeah.
That's actually a male rough coming out of its spectacular breeding plumage. Earlier we saw a young bird. This is still a pretty white bird, a lot of white on it. Oh, it's walked out of view. Just a second. Let me just. Oh, flew off. So let me refocus on it, and I'll get back to you.
Okay. We'll go back to Nadav. Nadav, who has some ducks at the bottom.
If you're back with me, then I'll go back to try and go back to the black storks, or I'll just show you some pygmy cormorants resting on one of the islands that we created in the middle of the Amud reservoir. The pygmy cormorants are the blackbirds at the far end of this island, and they are excellent, excellent divers. They dive for fish, basically. They feed on fish only, and they here year round. Pygmy cormorants are resident birds in Israel. They breed on trees, sometimes trees uh, in in the water. And actually, we had a nice breeding colony of night herons and pygmy cormorants and some other species right here in the Amud reservoir. If you bear with me just a few seconds, I'll pan my telescope and I'll show you where the breeding colony was and still is actually. This is the very end of the breeding season, and you can see the some night herons and the pygmy cormorants and some little egrets are still in their nest. You can still see some chicks in the nests, but this was quite a big breeding colony that hosted, I guess, close to 100 different pairs of pygmy cormorants, night herons, cattle egrets, and little egrets, and the
Okay.
occasional squawk heron as well.
Okay, I think we're gonna go to Amir because I think he wants to show off his artificial habitat as well. Amir, go.
Yeah, guys, we're overlooking the Neiman Pond, and this is a beautiful makeshift wetland, a small eco pond that we built with the community here, thanks to the support of Danielle and Larry Neiman from New Jersey. This was built about 15 years ago. And this little gem of a wetland is an attraction for all the migratory birds that come over to the JBO. And here this morning, we were happy to find a night heron. And you can see it standing like a little rock on the bank, and it's waiting for a little fish or a frog to move, and it will strike it in very high speed. It has its neck between its shoulder. It has a very long neck and special tendons that enable it to throw its beak very, very quickly into the water. So this is a very small example. It's not as big as Magan Michael or Nachsholim or the wetlands in Eilat, but every little wetland counts. This is what we say always. Every little
It's
wetland
okay, Amir.
counts.
Size doesn't matter, but we are going to go to Yoav, who has more than one bird. Go on, Yoav. Got some acasets.
Indeed, more than one bird. There's a big flock of shorebirds in this pond. A couple of thousand shorebirds in this other drained fish pond. Big numbers of black-winged stilts. Now, black-winged stilts is an interesting story because they do breed in Israel. We have a breeding population. However, we have a properly migrant population that arrive from very, very far and migrate all the way down to Africa. Now, these long-legged stilts are a mix of smaller shorebirds. There's ring plover, little stint. There's a wood sandpiper in there. It's really nice to see this pond. Maybe I'll get out of my scope for a second. This is how the pond looks like. Now big numbers of birds.
Oh, I was going to go with. I was hoping you say I'm going to get out of my telescope and go for a swim, but can't have it. Can't have everything. All right.
Keep it for Tuesday.
All right, we're gonna go to. Oh, we were gonna go to Nadav, but he's not there. We'll stay with you, Yoav. Tell us more about these birds.
Now, I'm Lawrence. Can I say something?
You can do, but I'm being attacked by a child. Nadav.
I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's actually a nice flock of black storks that are actually coming down from after a long day of migration, soaring hundreds of kilometers, and they're just coming down to spend the night here in Amud Reservoir to join the rest of the black storks that are already here. And this is what we looked for. This is what we aimed for when we started this project. We wanted it to be a place for breeding birds like the pygmy cormorants and the squacco herons and the purple herons that are breeding here, but also we wanted it to be a stopover site for migrating birds, soaring birds and plovers and ducks and songbirds. And actually, it's doing now exactly what it was supposed to do. So this, not sure if you can see them, but between the clouds, they are coming down. Black storks after a long day of migration over maybe Turkey and Syria, and now they are coming down to spend the night here, rest, find some food maybe, and then tomorrow they will continue their migration. Back to you, Lawrence.
I'm muted. I don't have a child anymore, so let's go to Noam, who is back ringing again.
Yes, so we have a nice one. It's the barn swallow. Look at this. Wow, such a beautiful bird. And look at this reddish face. And it's just amazing. The wing is super long. And so is the tail to get good maneuver.
Sorry, can I break in, please? Sorry, can I break in? I have a rarity.
Yes, we like rarities. Go. We don't need commoners. Common barn swallows. What you got?
I just the bird I've been seeing now. What's first called winged pratinco. It's a bit distant. It's a bit far away. It's a big rarity, and it's even a globally threatened species.
Hold on, Yoav, say that again. Yoav, you cut out when you're naming the bird. What is it? What's the name of it? A winged pratinco.
Black winged pratinco.
Black winged pratinco, he says.
Okay.
Black winged pratinco.
All right. I can't see what. Is it? Yeah, point it out.
They're quite rapidly in the world, but it's really nice to have this one here. It's a really nice bird. So they are shorebirds, but they have shorter legs. They're actually more attached to sometimes, but this one chose to rest probably after a long migration, to rest here with all of the other shorebirds in the fish pond. As I said, it's a bit distant, so you'll have to leave me. I'll try to zoom in a bit.
I'm gonna go back to Noam because he's basically asking for attention.
Oh, it's just.
No, that was just measuring the bird. So
we'll go back to your swallow. Yav, you go work on the pattern call.
I would like to see right here in Eilat. We actually saw this morning two black-winged crackling-calls here in Eilat, but this is a barn swallow. It's amazing. It's just so beautiful, so delicate. Such very, very, very long tail. Look at this, like needles. And this is to be able to maneuver because this bird's business is flies, and flies are tricky to catch. So it needs to have really, really long wings and this very special tail. And this bill looks maybe small, but the mouth is just enormous. Just opening its mouth in the middle of the air, catches the fly, you just hear a clack, and that's it. And when you come to the bird sanctuary, early morning, we have hundreds of them feeding on mosquitoes and flies and all kinds of other flying insects. And you don't see much. You just hear tuck, 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 tuck everywhere. And that's their bills closing on one more unhappy insect. So they're so beautiful. They are now migrating from Europe to Africa. And they are just so tame sometimes. You can just leave them in the hand and they don't fly. They just...
You've tamed it. You've got a pet.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Remember, barn swallows are for life, not just for Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna fly if I make it jump like this. Oops, it's gone. Up to the wrong side and out.
See, it wants to say, I can't. Then I can see you've got something in your scope. Come on.
Okay.
That is gone.
Okay, I have a very mobile bird. No, that's a sniper.
You had it. Just leave it there. We'll come in. Yeah, there you go. Go on, Yav.
Okay, now there's another snipe here that I think we saw before. But there was a yellow running quickly. But it's maybe a bit too quick for this kind of show. No, it's out of view. Anyway, okay, so here's the yellow wagtail, the young yellow wagtail. It's very quick. So we have big numbers of yellow wagtails migrating through Israel now. It's never easy to show them. So they're very quick birds. They move a lot. This is a young bird, so it's just coming into view again. It's a young bird. Oh, where's it gone?
No, it's not. It's escaped.
Oh
no, hold on. So when we talk about yellow wagtail, we're basically, so it's back before the Nachlieli Hakatan, like the pied wagtails, the white wagtails, which are like the very, very famous ones.
Yeah, so the white wagtails are here for the winter, but the yellow wagtail is a migrant, a proper migrant. We get them in big numbers. They're never easy to show. I think that we've managed to show one over here. It's running back into with a little stint. You can see how small the little stint is. It's the same size as the yellow wagtail. There's actually a marsh harrier flying over me now, so many of the birds are stressed a bit. But okay, you can see the wagtail now quite well. So as I said, it's a young bird. The adult males are very bright yellow, but this is a young bird. Oh. Okay, it's fly catching. You can actually see the insects running in the water and on the water edge.
Yeah.
So much activity here.
It's so cool. Oh, Noam's got an owl. He's got an owl. Oh my gosh, this is no, that's just a picture in the background. Ignore me. Okay, I'm ignoring. No, no, you tricked me, Noam. You tricked me. All right, let's go back to we'll go back to Nadav, who's probably still got lots and lots of black storks and other things. Hello, Nadav.
I just want to show you the scenery where we are at the moment. I'm in Sarupin, looking north now along the Jordan Valley. The mountains, the ridge on the right is actually in the kingdom of Jordan. These are the Gilad Mountains. And the hills, this is the Jordan Valley in the middle. And the hills on the left, on the west side, are actually in Israel. This one is the closed one is called Tel Artal. And the far one is Ramat Sirin, like the Sirin Heights. And these are the dates plantations of Sarupin. Wonderful dates. You come to Israel, you have to come here to have some dates, and this is the time when they pick, when they just started picking the dates, and they're very sweet and quite wonderful.
Amazing. Have since
and can you see now the black storks coming down? More and more black storks, like
yes,
tens of them are just pouring down from the sky down to spend the night in the Amud Reservoir. And I bet you can hardly hear them, but the frogs and toads down in the reservoir have already started to sing. Okay, so it's quite a show here, actually. It's quite wonderful.
It looks awesome. All right, cut. Amir, we'll go to. I think Amir's on some type of adventure, so we'll go to Amir. Amir, we'll be with you.
Yeah, I'm right now patrolling the JBO perimeter, just enjoying the habitats, looking at the different trees and shrubs that attract all the autumn migrants. So here you can see the buckthorn that has finished fruiting, and this is the wild almond tree that will sustain all our woodpeckers. And these are the beautiful Jerusalem pines that are the first tree the birds will encounter flying over Jerusalem. And this will attract them down to our site. This here is a typical old terrace wall that is also an incredible habitat. And we'll be climbing up here to see another fruiting tree, flowering. This is called the Abraham bush, a beautiful fall or autumn flowering bush. And this will attract a lot of insects that will supply birds with food and insects with nectar. So this is how we manage the site. Right. And this is another important plant that we use. This is the sea squill.
Amir, wait 1 second. I think Nadav's got something in his scope, so we'll come back to the sea squill in 1 second. No, you just got. You just got.
Amir was talking about important trees and fruits, and this is the Sisyphus tree. Just with its fruits, are very important for mammals like wild boars and porcupines, and also some birds really like to drink the nectar from the flowers, and insects are attracted to the Sisyphus tree, and a lot of there's a small bird just landed on this tree. Let me see if I can try and get it. One of the smallest birds in Israel. There it is, a sunbird. Okay, that's a young male sunbird. Sunbird.
Wow, I've never seen it. Like it's like changing from like juvenile colors to male adult colors. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool.
Okay, and you can see it's actually the throat is moving, and it's actually kind of singing. Okay, It's not a very good singer yet, but hopefully when he gets older, the song will get better. The moment he's mumbling. Okay.
Wow.
And there he went up.
All right. Okay,
so what I started to say is quite a lot of insects are attracted to those trees, and sunbirds and swallows are coming to feed on the insects on the trees, on the Sisyphus.
Amazing. Okay, we're gonna go around one more time with everyone because I know that the audience are loving this, but also need to leave, and I'm sure you probably have families to get to. We could probably do this for like another hour. We'll go to Amir, back to his vegetation, and go back to the sea squid at some point.
Right, we are here
in
looking at the hawthorn, and this is a very important tree, a fruiting tree in autumn, and these are ripening hawthorn apples, and I can just tell you that they are so sweet, so sour. They're
Hold
a
on.
real
Hold on. Is it sweet or sour? Hold on, you can't have both.
sweet and sour.
Ooh.
They're a true delicacy, and birds just love them. Especially, oh, look at this. The evening shift of harvester ants. They are now waking up, and they will be collecting seeds for their larvae. And all this, these are the seed pods that are taken by the ants outside. So this is a very typical autumn activity of ants. And very soon, after the first rain, we will see them coming out of the nest, queens and males, and they will have their copulation flight. Look at this hawthorn. Wow. This is fall in Jerusalem. We don't have beautiful Indian summers or very large scale, colorful, you know, leaf, נו, שלכת, איך אומרים שלכת, לורנס?
When the leaves turn brown and fall from the trees?
Yeah, what do you call it?
I can't remember. I'll have to think about it. I'll come back to you.
Blimey.
Someone will write in the chat. Someone will write in the chat when
Someone
the
will
leaves...
write in the chat. So we don't have these extremely colorful shows of leaves turning into red and yellow, but we do have a lot of berries and a lot of fruiting trees that are timing their fruit to the fall migration, because birds will have this tremendous impact on the vegetation because they disperse the seeds. So the figs, for example, have just finished.
The chat seems to think the word is full foliage.
Full
I think
foliage.
There's a proper word for it, but we'll look it up.
Okay, so here you see this is the type of trees we plant here in the JBO. This is the fig tree, and now the colors are changing into yellow, and they will drop down and create this beautiful leaf litter that is also a very important habitat for invertebrates and also other species of insects. And this is one of my favorites. Look at this. This is the wild pear. And look at the fruit. And they drop down. And look at this. The porcupines of the JBO just love them. And also blackbirds and thrushes. They are sour tasting, but they're a very important species. And look at this beautiful tree as the sun is setting over Jerusalem. Spectacular. It's not a bird, but it's just as important. So we treat our vegetation, we take our vegetation very seriously. And we are testing all the type of trees that are important for birds. And I bet most of you can identify this fruiting tree. European olives are a very important food source for birds, mammals. The best way to prepare for winter is by feeding on these beautiful olives, rich with olive oil and minerals. And we make sure these are left for the birds. Look at this. Wow. This is fantastic.
Amazing.
Wow.
All right.
So oily and rich.
Yeah. See, someone see there's no word in English for the leaves off falling off the trees.
Impossible.
There's apparently no real. Someone said that yeah, no one had a real word. All right. I think we're gonna wrap up because we've gone half an hour over, and we could do this all. We could literally do this all day, and I could too. But I have a 3-year-old who very much wants to see me. So I'm gonna open up to Nadav and Yoav to say goodbye because Noam's already legged it. His phone ran out of battery, I guess. Yoav, do you want to say goodbye? And I will just say thank you very much to everyone for
Yeah.
joining us. Thank you, Amir, Yoav, Nadav, and Noam. Thank you. Yeah, I hope this brought a bit of joy on a difficult day. I'm sure we'll be doing this again at least one more time this autumn or fall, as you say in your language. If you'd like to make a donation, please go to www.natureisrael.org. And you can do so, or to www.birds.org.il. Yoav's gone, but Nadav, do you want to say goodbye? And bye-bye, Nadav.
Bye, everybody. Hope to see you soon in Israel, and thank you for your support.
And Yoav?
Bye-bye. Thank you for your support. Bye-bye.
Yoav?
Yeah, just thank you and Shana Tova to everyone. I hope everyone has a quiet, peaceful, and beautiful year.
Thank you very much. Just thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. One thing I didn't say is that all our sites are free to visit, so you can just turn up whenever and enjoy what's going on. Everyone have a Shana Tova, and have a safe, peaceful, and quiet and healthy New Year. Goodbye, everyone.